At noon starts right now.
A Bexar County Sheriff's deputy, a woman, and 2 children are safe after a suspect got into a shootout with deputies in far north Bexar County.
This was not far from Smithson Valley Road and Bulverde Road. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says a BCSO deputy killed that 39-year-old gunman.
This noon, Alyssa Cole explains how the trouble started even before the bullets started flying.
Bexar County Sheriff Office deputies were called out to a home on 4th Street for a family violence situation. Deputies say when they arrived, a woman appeared at the front door of the home. Inside the house, according to deputies, was the suspect with a gun. The deputies and the woman took cover.
The female reacted very quickly, and she then moved away from the doorway. The deputies took cover. One of the deputies followed her around the side of the house, and the other deputy retreated back into the street, took cover behind a vehicle.
But the deputy following the 41-year-old female to the side of the house got trapped between the house and the fence with her. Salazar says the deputy warned the man to put his firearm down, but the man did not comply. This led to the deputy shooting the suspect multiple times.
There has been some sort of a prior history, domestic violence related history between these two. Our office has handled some sort of domestic disturbances between the two. And at present, we believe that this suspect at one time worked in law enforcement as well.
Eventually, authorities were able to get 2 children out of the home safely. No one else was hurt. The sheriff's office homicide team and the district attorney's office will continue to carry out this investigation. Alyssa Cole, KSAT12 News.
San Antonio firefighters had a tough time getting this fire out at a home on the south side of town. This was a scene just after 1:30 on McKinney Avenue. That's not too far from South Presses Street and I-10. We're told fire crews did not have access to the attic, so they had to cut through the roof to get to the flames. 5 people were inside. They were able to get out safely. The Red Cross is helping them, but no word on how much damage to this home was caused.
3 people in the hospital this morning after being hit by a vehicle on a 1604 in Huebner Road. Now, according to San Antonio police, 2 vehicles were involved in a collision around 11:30 last night. The drivers got out to exchange information, and that's when another vehicle crashed into the back of them. One of the victims is in critical condition, while the other 2 are expected to be okay.
Beautiful day out there today. Already 79 degrees. Changes, though, underway.
Yeah, we're expecting to get some storms coming up tomorrow. Not today, though, and the sun came out early today, so that means temperature is going to be plenty warm. We're already closing in on 80 degrees. Let's take a look at some of the weather headlines. Here's what we're thinking next few days. You remember the heat index? It's back. We've got to consider that next few days because heat indices will be up in the mid-90s even by the weekend. What about storms tomorrow? We're still working on timing and location, but it's becoming a little bit better focused, and I think that we have a decent chance for some storms coming up tomorrow night, even here in San Antonio. There is a risk for some severe weather involved here. In fact, severe weather will be possible Thursday through Monday. Isolated stuff, but we've got to watch it. It's that time of year. 78 right now. Dew point is at 64, and we've got easterly winds at 8, gusting to 20. Pretty nice day, albeit a little humid out there. And a look at the satellite picture shows we do have some of these clouds building in. It'll be a partly cloudy afternoon, with temperatures warming into the 80s by the afternoon hours. 78 right now, 80 in Pleasanton, 77 in Kennedy, and upper 70s, close to 80 right now down there at Stinson. The KSAT 12-hour forecast, 83 at 3 o'clock, 84 at 4 p.m., and 81 at 7 p.m. No rain chances today, as we said, but they do come back into play tomorrow. We're going to talk more about that forecast and how it's looking as far as severe weather goes coming up in just a couple minutes. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. Right now, 1,500 U.S. troops are preparing to deploy to the southern border. Next week, Title 42, that is that COVID-19 pandemic policy restricting immigration, comes to an end.
It's a controversial policy, but now that it's going away, thousands upon thousands of migrants are already gathering just on the other side of the border to get in. ABC's Lindsay Watts with how that confrontation at the border crisis is causing debate.
The Biden administration shoring up the U.S. border with Mexico. 1,500 active duty troops will join 2,500 National Guard members already there to assist Border Patrol. The White House says the new troops will be there for 90 days.
These personnel will be performing administrative tasks like data entry and warehouse support. They will not be performing law enforcement functions or interacting with immigrants or migrants.
Biden is sending the troops days before the Trump-era Title 42 comes to an end. The policy allowed the U.S. to reject migrants based on COVID-19 concerns, even those seeking asylum. There have been nearly 2.8 million expulsions since March of 2020. A surge of migrants is now expected at the southern border. Officials say smugglers are spreading disinformation that the border is open.
We do expect that encounters at our southern border will increase, as smugglers are seeking to take advantage of this change.
The 90-day troop deployment is meant to free up Customs and Border Protection agents stretched thin by a migration crisis. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz says his teams need help.
I don't have enough agents, I don't have enough infrastructure, I don't have enough technology.
Overnight, the White House reaching a critical agreement with Mexico. Mexican officials confirmed they will continue to accept migrants expelled by the U.S. from at least 4 countries. The White House has also announced it's increasing asylum officers and immigration judges at the border, in addition to increasing legal pathways for immigration. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
Even before the border reopens to pre-COVID levels, Texas is still busing migrants out of the state. Just this morning, 41 migrants arrived in New York City, and more are expected later on today. The New York City mayor's office says Governor Greg Abbott is not coordinating with his city on these movements. City Hall claiming that they found out from nonprofit organizations that the buses were coming.
We have been welcoming anywhere between 200 to 300 people a day for quite some time now. We have been doing this for now close to a year, and we are very disappointed that the federal government has not done more to intervene.
Much like Texas border cities, New York says it has run out of space in its traditional shelter system. It has had to convert more than 120 hotels into emergency shelters for the migrants. The city worried that after Title 42 is lifted next week, it could see closer to 1,000 migrants a day.
Hey, who says my size matters on the football field? We're going to introduce you to the newest Cowboy who proved he could get it done in college, and now he's ready to prove he can get it done in the NFL.
A local organization getting a boost, a big one, after a donation. How this money will be used to help children and parents struggling in the foster care system. A 14-year-old boy now under arrest, accused of opening fire this morning in a classroom in Serbia, killing several classmates and a security guard. As ABC's Patrick Ravel reports, this is the first mass school shooting in the country's history.
Shock and grief in Serbia after a rare school shooting. A 14-year-old student opened fire inside a classroom in an elementary school in the capital, Belgrade. At least 8 children and a security guard killed, another 6 children and a teacher injured. Some in critical condition, according to officials. Ambulances lining up outside the school. Anguished relatives waiting for news after rushing to the scene, comforting each other. The teenage suspect taken into custody by police, seen here being brought out of the school with a hood over his head. Serbian officials said the 14-year-old was a student at the school and they had found a list of targets he had made, naming specific children to kill. They said the suspect was armed with 2 pistols as well as 4 Molotov cocktails. According to police, the guns came from the apartment of the suspect's father, who has now also been arrested, although he had legal permits for the weapons. Authorities have closed all schools for the rest of the day. 3 days of national mourning are declared from Friday.
Serbia's education minister says this is the first mass shooting in the country's history. There are a lot of firearms in Serbia left over from the Balkan Wars, and there was already a debate about how controlled they were. This is likely to only intensify that debate. Patrick Reevell, ABC News, London.
Outside with live cam. Man, this is just about what you want in the middle of April and May and June.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, we're headed into that, kind of severe weather season. So we're watching for Potential for storms next couple days, but today will be nice, and it is beautiful out there right now. The aquifer still going down a little bit. It's down 10th of a foot, 640.5, and your pollen count. Molds and grass are low. I will tell you, though, there's a little bit of smoke in the atmosphere coming in from Mexico from some of that agricultural burning there. We're going to talk about the forecast, which does include rain chances all the way into next week. That's coming up.
The Children's Shelter getting a huge donation this morning from Kim's Angels. It's now $250,000 closer to providing the county what it needs to support children and parents in the foster care system. The organization's CEO says the shelter is still providing important education and training to make sure that families are prepared for challenges that are associated with taking in a foster child. Asia Cherovino says there's a gap in funding because the government does not provide enough money to support all the children who need homes. The nonprofit relies on donations to cover the rest. There was a stakeholders breakfast this morning, and she touted what they do and why our area can't do without it.
We are going to be activating our campus with a family resource center that will wrap around all families in the foster care system, kinship, and just a regular foster care family or child. So we're so excited to bring those services to families that need it the most. Those are trying to find a job, or maybe food resources, or having counseling services. We have free mental health in our Harvey Nation Hope Center. There's so much to offer at the Children's Shelter.
The CEO says the Children's Shelter impacts more than 5,000 children and families' lives every year, but they need more than $2 million a year in donations to do it.
Another local charity organization giving some of our kids a fun day. They got to spend it at the zoo. Members of the International Order of Alhambra hosted physically and developmentally disabled individuals and some of their staff to the day to meet some of the animals and enjoy some food at the zoo. They also had lunch at Breckenridge Park. The annual event put on a pause because of COVID-19 pandemic, but it is back this year. The organization says the event is possible thanks to sponsors and donors.
Pretty day today to go to the zoo, no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm. A little warm, but nice nonetheless. And it's been kind of an uneventful week, but we're starting to see things get more active again as we're expecting storms to come back into play tomorrow. Not today. We've got actually very little cloud cover. We started off that way, and it's made for a warm day. We see that we've just got some partly cloudy skies right now. Some fair weather cumulus clouds developing over San Antonio. 78 degrees at the airport, 80 Pleasanton. 79 right now in Uvalde, 77 in Carrizo Springs, and right around that 80-degree mark. We'll be there soon. We'll be jumping into the 80s here momentarily around San Antonio. Not only that, we've got dew points in the 60s, so it is nice and sticky out there. Mid-60s, that's muggy for sure. And dew points will continue to rise in the coming days. At some point, we could be near 70. So it's going to feel a lot more like summer over the next week or so. I'll warn you there. We're going to be talking about heat indices here in just a second. 79 Stinson, 78 Kelly, 79 at Randolph. We've got an easterly wind right now. And as we look at the KSAT 12-hour forecast, low 80s by 3, 4 o'clock. That's probably where we top out, 84 degrees, and then this evening into the 80s and 70s. Partly cloudy all the way through, but southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, clouds will build back in tonight, and we'll start off fairly cloudy tomorrow. There's a look at the heat index. So today, we're 83, but it feels like 84. Tomorrow, 88, feels like 92. You get the idea. We start to see these temperatures build, but also the heat index builds. This weekend, we can see heat indices in the mid-90s. Been a while since we've had to deal with that, so just want to make you aware. If we could get some cooling from rainfall, that would be great. There is some chances ahead, as we said, an area of low pressure off the coast of California, just sitting there right now. It's not really moving much. If it is, it's moving south. But it is setting us up to get some disturbances that'll be rolling through from the south and west. So I want to take you to tomorrow. This is not today, but tomorrow. And you'll notice that by 4 o'clock, storms start to develop out west. And then the idea here is that these will come together into kind of a cluster of storms and start to make their way towards San Antonio. But even around dinner time, maybe an isolated storm here and then a cluster of storms working their way into San Antonio, probably weakening as they move in our direction, but moving in nonetheless around 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow. That's kind of what the models are zeroing in on. And if this scenario plays out, we've got to worry about severe weather initially, especially out west, Del Rio, Eagle Pass. But if these storms do hold together, we could see some pockets of heavy rain too. There will be enough moisture in the atmosphere for that to happen tomorrow, which would be fine. We just don't want flooding, and we can do without severe weather as well. Right now, we're going to hold in a 40% chance of storms, and we'll keep that through about 10 o'clock before these storms weaken and move east. And then by Friday afternoon, we'll have the opportunity to get a few more isolated storms. Probably the chances will be a little bit lower, but all the way through, there's going to be a risk for severe weather, and that is certainly the case tomorrow. San Antonio has now been added into the scattered risk. That's a little bit of a change. So I-35 corridor has been added just because I think the models coming in, the new models coming in showing that cluster of storms making it all the way here, and that's probably why the Storm Prediction Center has added us in there. Nonetheless, these are the main issues, I think, tomorrow. Hail initially as these storms develop, but then it transitions into more of a threat for wind gusts and maybe some flooding, at least in spots. So that will be what we'll watch tomorrow. Today, 84, partly cloudy, 83 on Thursday with a 40% chance of storms, 88 Friday, 90 on Saturday, 89 Sunday. With a 30% chance of rain basically Friday through Monday before rain chances start to taper off. And any one of those days, we could see some strong to severe storms, guys.
Thank you, Justin.
Top 2 Texan draft picks fired up to be in Houston. We'll hear from them coming up next. And not your usual Astros-Rangers highlights on the way.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
He is small in stature, but he can make some big plays. And now Deuce Vaughn is a Cowboys rookie running back. He stands 5'5". He only weighs 179 pounds. But you ask anybody in the Big 12, and they will tell you he is a dangerous runner and can catch out of the backfield. His father, Chris, is the Cowboys' assistant director of college scouting. Leading up to the draft, we wanted to know if Deuce and his dad actually talked about him becoming a Cowboy.
Not necessarily about becoming a Cowboy. There are definitely conversations about, like I said earlier, going to the right fit, understanding that, like I said earlier, again, this is a big thing that we talked about. It didn't matter when I went or if I was drafted, but just understanding that all we needed was a chance. And so I always had in the back of my head that Dallas would be a great spot to land because I've always wanted to play with that star on the side of my helmet. And man, just for it to come to fruition in the way that it did, and to be able to see him on the other side of the screen in the war room, it was huge, man. It was unreal.
Going to be fun to watch him. It's going to be fun to watch these two guys, too. The Texans' 2 first-round draft picks, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson Jr., both had stellar college careers, and they are very talented, but it's their character that impresses Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans, and that means the world to Anderson, a dominant edge rusher.
I pride myself in character just because of what's on the back. It's my last name, and that's the people I represent. It's my family and my mom and dad. I mean, they 6 kids, not easy. You know what I'm saying? They sacrifice so much stuff for me and my family. People don't even know. You know what I'm saying? They got 6 people through high school, 3 that graduated college. Everybody doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think the biggest thing for me and my siblings is when we in the real world, we're going to, represent the Anderson name the right way. And that's what I always pride myself in, is having high character.
He's already got a huge cheering section, too, doesn't he? The Texans are going to hold rookie minicamp coming up in just a few days, May 12th through the 15th. We get to see what they're made of. Hey, the Texas Rangers opening up a 2-game series with the Diamondbacks. Bottom of the 6th, 1 on. Ezekiel Duran, deep fly. That's all the way to center field. The Rangers had a runner on. That's easy right there. 5-4. Rangers hold on to win their 4th straight, 6-4. Astros and Giants, Minute Maid Park, game 2 of that series. Top of the 4th, Giants up 1-0 when Blake Sabal hits the pitch to left. It is going to go off the wall. Corey Julks plays the ball perfectly. Still, that's an RBI double to make it 2-0. The Giants win 2-0. The Astros' 2-game winning streak is over. The two will close out their 3-game series this afternoon in just about 45 minutes or so. And in the Texas League, the Missions lost at Tulsa 11-1. Philadelphia 76ers center Joel Embiid was named the 2022-2023 NBA Most Valuable Player. During the regular season, he averaged 33 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and nearly 2 blocks a game. He's the first player to average 33 and 10 boards per contest since Bob McAdoo did it back in 1974-75. Embiid received a total of 915 points, beating out the reigning back-to-back MVP Denver Nuggets center Nikola Jokic, who finished second with just 674 points. And the Heat and the Knicks played Game 2, Eastern Conference semis. Miami without Jimmy Butler because of a sprained ankle. New York went on a 24-2 or 24-12 run in the final 7 minutes after being down 6 points. So the Knicks win Game 2, 111-105, and that evens the series at 1 game apiece. And the Phoenix Suns point guard Chris Paul is expected to miss games 3, 4, and 5 after having an MRI on his groin area. ESPN said that he's expected to be evaluated in 1 week. Paul hurt that area in the Suns Game 2 loss in Denver on Monday, and the Suns trail that series 2-0, so they may not even get to a Game 5. They got to win one of these.
We're going to get to SA Live, though. Check them out. They're getting ready for a great show. And yeah, it probably smells amazing in there with all those goodies.
And coming up today, new at 5, your mattress is just the beginning of getting a good night's sleep. We're going to give you a look at different bed sheet fabrics and pillow shapes that can help you rest more comfortably. That's today at 5 after Entertainment Tonight. Texas State House honored the victims of the Robb Elementary School mass shooting with 21 memorial resolutions. However, some of the families who lost their children said they'd rather see a vote on a gun safety bill. That bill would raise the age for people who want to purchase a semi-automatic rifle to 21. Several of the victims' families gathered at the Capitol in support of House Bill 2744. The group included Gloria and Javier Casares, the parents of Jacqueline Casares, one of the 19 children who died in her Robb Elementary School classroom.
You don't want to be in my shoes. I never thought I would. I'm not doing this for my daughter. My daughter's not coming back. But your kids are still here. So join us.
Republican Representative Ryan Gillian is the committee's chair. Uvalde families say they spoke to him and were told that if the bill had the votes, he would let it go up for a vote. That has not happened yet.
A migrant who had been deported 4 times, accused of killing 5 of his neighbors in Texas, finally in police custody. ABC's Rita Roy with details on the long manhunt for this dangerous fugitive and where officers found him.
A sigh of relief in Cleveland, Texas, with accused mass murderer Francisco Oropesa waking up behind bars.
He's in this jail right here.
Police taking the Mexican national into custody Tuesday night after a 5-day manhunt, finding him shirtless and slumped over in a closet under a pile of laundry. A source close to the investigation telling ABC station KTRK the home belongs to an Oropesa family member.
I believe he thought he was in a safe spot.
Border Patrol, Texas state troopers, and U.S. Marshals moving in, arresting him and saying they recovered a weapon.
The tip for the suspect's location came in through the FBI's tip line.
Police say others were arrested at the same home and that they're not talking much to police.
Anybody that helped this maniac is definitely got some kind of issues, as far as I'm concerned.
Oropesa was captured just 11 miles from the crime scene, where police say he killed 5 of his neighbors after an argument last week. During the desperate search on Monday, schools in the area locked down. Authorities saying there was a suspect sighting on Highway 105, confirming Oropesa was on foot, but they lost track of him.
Once we got the federal help with the electronic equipment and the phone analysis, we could tell the people he was contacting were in the area and never left.
Oropesa is charged with murder. The district attorney saying that could be upgraded to capital murder. He's being held on a $5 million bond. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
By the way, Oropesa's wife has also been arrested, and she is currently in jail in Montgomery County. The Orlando community has been waiting 7 years for a memorial in honor of the victims of the Pulse nightclub mass shooting. And now we're learning it won't be built at the site of the tragedy. The One Pulse Foundation says that for months they were negotiating with the Pulse nightclub owners. It was trying to get them to donate the property for the memorial, but the owners refused. The city of Orlando offered the owners more than $2 million for the nightclub site in 2016. They declined the offer because they wanted to be in charge of making the memorial. The One Pulse Foundation says it'll provide an update in the coming weeks about a new possible location.
The private papers of late Justice John Paul Stevens revealing new details about the Clinton versus Jones case back in the late 1990s. According to the documents, the Supreme Court was concerned about appearing political when it ruled against President Bill Clinton. In a unanimous decision, though, the justices ruled that the then president could not invoke presidential immunity in order to avoid a civil suit for alleged sexual misconduct that was brought by Paula Jones. Memos showed at least one of the justices stressed that the court should avoid any ruling that could lead to partisanship. Clinton eventually settled the case with Jones for $850,000.
Drug maker Eli Lilly says it is planning to submit its Alzheimer's drug for FDA approval next month. In its latest clinical trial, the company says the drug slowed progression 35% over the course of 18 months. The drug is an antibody that is injected into the blood. It travels to the brain, finds and binds to plaques linked to Alzheimer's. Then the body's own immune system clears away the plaque. According to Lilly, about half of the patients achieved plaque clearance after 1 year, and 72% achieved it in 18 months. Lilly did report some side effects, and 3 people died during that trial.
Taking another look outside with live cam. Don't be fooled by all this prettiness. Tomorrow, we could be in for some trouble.
Yes, we could see some storms coming up tomorrow afternoon. Maybe some strong storms, maybe some good rain too. So, we kind of have to take the good with the bad sometimes, especially this time of year. I want to show you the big picture here across the country. We still have this interesting setup that we mentioned yesterday. You see all the rain across the Northeast. It's cold and wet there. And then you've got the cool temperatures on the West Coast with an area of low pressure right off the coast of California. We're kind of sitting in the middle where things are fairly warm and humid too. 78 here in San Antonio, 76 in Dallas. We're just a little bit cooler than places like Orlando and Miami. But look at the cool temperatures up around Cleveland. 48 right now, 52 in New York City, and it's in the 50s in San Francisco as well. So cool pattern for those folks. We're going to stay in heat and humidity here, which will eventually lead to some showers and storms gathering tomorrow. 84 degrees at 4 o'clock today. That's our high temperature. We're down into the 70s tonight. As you plan out your evening, just know it'll be partly cloudy, becoming mostly cloudy overnight. Here's a look at our rain chances next few days. Coming up tomorrow, about a 30% chance, and that's mainly during the afternoon hours. We bump it up to a 40% chance Thursday night. That's our best chance, I think, to see rain. But we still have some more opportunities down the line. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, some isolated afternoon stuff. And all those days we could see some form of severe weather. We're going to take a look at the 7-day forecast and what the computer models are seeing coming up here in just a couple minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. A major city handing out hundreds of free air tags. What they are and why police hope this will help curb crime.